Good morning, children. How are you all, my dear children? Okay, very good. So today, children, let us do the questions and answers of the lesson, The Best Christmas Present in the World. I hope you have gone through the lesson thoroughly. Did you, children? Very good. So, let's begin, children. Comprehension check. Page 10. Questions. What did the author find in a junk shop? What did he find in a secret drawer? Who do you think had put it in there? Now the answers for these questions, children. Let's have a look at the answers. Answer for the first question. The author found a roll-top desk for sale in a junk shop. It was made of oak wood, but it was in a very bad condition. You remember, children? It was burnt. One of its legs was mended clumsily. Do you remember the story, children? Okay, very good. So now we move on to the second answer, children. In the secret drawer of the desk, the author found a small tin box. It had a letter in it. I think the owner of the roll-top desk might have put it there. Now comprehension check, page 14. The questions, children. Who had written the letter? To whom and when? The second question. Why was the letter written? What was the wonderful thing that had happened? What jobs did Hans Wolf and Jim McPherson have when they were not soldiers? Had Hans Wolf ever been to Dorset? Why did he say he knew it? Do you think Jim McPherson came back from the war? How do you know this? Okay, so now we'll have a look at the answers to these questions. The first one. John McPherson, a captain in the British Army, had written that letter dated December 26, 1914 to his wife Connie. The second answer, children. The letter described a wonderful event. The two armies, the British and the German, fighting against each other, celebrated Christmas together. Third one. Before joining the army, Hans played the cello. Cello is a musical instrument, children, in the orchestra, and Jim was a teacher. Fourth one. No, Hans had never been to Dorset. He had only read about Dorset in Hardy's novel, Far from the Madding Crowd. So he had never been to Dorset. Fifth answer. No, Jim McPherson never came back home from the war. Perhaps, therefore, his wife, Connie, had preserved his letters. Now, comprehension check, page 15. Why did the author go to Bridport? How old was Mrs. McPherson now? Where was she? Okay, now let's have a look at the answers. The first one. The author went to Bridport to meet Mrs. Jim McPherson and deliver to her Jim's letter. McPherson was 101 years old. She was in a nursing home. Comprehension check, page 16. Who did Connie McPherson think her visitor was? Which sentence in the text shows that the visitor did not try to hide his identity? Okay, now let's have a look at the answers, children. The first one, Connie thought that the visitor was her own husband, Jim McPherson. That sentence is, "You told me you'd come home by Christmas, dearest." She said, and here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim dear, sit down. Now working with text, page number 16. For how long do you think Connie had kept Jim's letter? Give reasons for your answer. Here's the answer, children. Connie had kept Jim's letter till January 25th, 1915. The letter was dated December 26th, 1914. Who do you think the desk had been sold? Why do you think the desk had been sold, and when? The desk must have been sold when Connie's house was burnt. The table had been damaged by fire as well as water. Why do Jim and Hans think that games of sports are good ways of resolving conflicts? Do you agree? Answer. Both Jim and Hans were soldiers. Both were warm-hearted. They had seen the sufferings of war, so it was natural for them to hate war. They favored a peaceful solution to settle disputes. Games or sports, they said, were good ways of resolving conflicts. I also quite agree with them. Yes, children, what happens in war? Killings happen. So many wives become widows, children are orphaned. Yes, so games and sports are a better option. Question number 4. Do you think the soldiers of the two armies are like each other or different from each other? Find evidence from the story to support your answer. All human beings are alike in many ways. They love peace and hate war. Yes, all of us love peace and hate war. They want to live together. Examples from the story. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land. Happy Christmas, Tommy, happy Christmas. When we had got, yes, this shows that they were in a mood to celebrate. Yes, mention the various ways in which the British and the German soldiers become friends and find things in common at Christmas. The British and the German soldiers belonged to different camps. They were enemies in wartime, but after all, they were human beings and therefore they had similar feelings. They shared the festive spirit of the Christmas. They got over hatred and played games, feasted and drank like good friends. Both hated war. Both were anxious to go back to their families at the end of war. What is Connie's Christmas present? Why is it the best Christmas present in the world? Connie thought that Jim had come home from war. She mistook the author for Jim. She had been waiting for her husband Jim. So the coming home of Jim was the best Christmas present in the world for her. Do you think the title of the story is suitable for it? Can you think of any other title or titles? Decidedly, this title of the story is most suitable for the old Connie. No other present could have given her such joy, such happiness as the coming home of Jim, her husband. Her presumption might be wrong, but she got the greatest happiness of her life. Since the story revolves around Christmas, the alternate title of the story could be War and Peace or Christmas Gift. But neither can be a match to the present title. Children, you can write your own answer. You can give your own views, children. Okay? Now, working with language, page number 17. Question 1. Look at these sentences from the story. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport. The man said it was made in the early 19th century. This one was in a bad condition. The italicized verbs are in the past tense. Tell us what happened in the past before now. Read the passage below and underline the verb in the past tense. A man got on the train and sat down. The compartment was empty except for one lady. She took her gloves off. A few hours later, the police arrested the man. They held him for 24 hours and then freed him. Let's have a look at the answer, children. A man got on the train and sat down. The compartment was empty except for one lady. She took her gloves off. A few hours later, the police arrested the man. They held him for 24 hours and then freed him. Now look at these sentences. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Both fire and water had taken their toll on this desk. Notice the verb forms had lifted, had taken their toll. The author found and bought the desk in the past. The desk was damaged before the author found it and bought it. Fire and water had damaged the desk before the author found it and bought it. So we use verb forms like had damaged for an event in the earlier past. If there are two events in the past, we use the had form for the event that occurred first in the past. Now in the past, two events have occurred. But which has happened first? Okay. So we use verb forms like had damaged for an event in the earlier past. If there are two events, we use the had form for the event that occurred first. Two events have happened, but whichever has happened first, for that we used had form. Okay. We also use the past perfect tense to show that something was wished for or expected before a particular time in the past. For example, I had always wanted one. Discuss with your partner the difference in meaning in the sentence below. When I reach you yourself have to think about it because there's no partner now for you. When I reached the station, the train left. When I reached the station, the train had left. Now just now I told you, yes, two things have happened in the past. Whichever has happened first, for that we use had. Yes, children, fill in the blanks using the correct form of the verbs in brackets. My little sister is very naughty. When she dashed back from school yesterday, she had dashed her dress. We dashed her how it had dashed. She dashed with a boy. She dashed him in a race and he dashed to push her. She dashed the teacher and so he dashed her and she dashed You have to write the correct form of the verb given there. Okay, children. So, once again, I'll show the question to you. Come on, read the question and fill in the blanks using what? The correct form of the verbs in the brackets. Come on, try to do this. I'm sure you're able to write the answers. Yes, are you able to write the answers? Very good, children. So, did you read the question, children? I'm sure you have. Okay, now we'll have a look at the answers. Check whether you got them all right. My little sister is very naughty. When she came back from school yesterday, she had torn her dress. We asked her how it had happened. She said she had quarreled with the boy. She had beaten him in a race and he tried to push her. She had told the teacher, and so he had chased her and had fallen down and had torn her dress. Underline the verbs and arrange them in 2 columns, past and earlier. My friend set out to see the caves in the next town, but I stayed at home because I had seen them already. When they arrived at the station, the train had left. I came back home, but by that time I had gone out to see a movie. So they sat outside and ate the lunch I had packed for them. By the time I returned, they had fallen asleep. So read the question once again. You have to make 2 columns. Past, earlier past. Remember, children, 2 incidents have happened in the past. One which has happened first is earlier past. Okay? So you have to make 2 columns like this. Now the answer, children. So past, set out, stayed. Earlier past, had seen. See, arrived. The first column is past, children. It's not clearly visible. It is past. The second column is earlier past. So look at the words placed in both the columns, children. Arrived, came back. Earlier past, had left, had gone. Sat and ate, past. Earlier past, had packed. Returned is past. Had fallen is earlier past. So past and earlier past. Now some dictionary work. By the end of the journey, we had run out of drinking water. Look at the verb run out. Run out of in this sentence. It is a phrasal verb. It has 2 parts. A verb and a preposition. Or an adverb. It could be an adverb also. So phrasal verbs often have meanings that are different from the meanings of their parts. Okay, now in the story, the phrasal verbs. Write down the sentences in which they occur. Consult a dictionary and write down the meaning that you think matches the meaning of the phrasal verb in the sentence. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burnt out shell, destroyed by fire. So that was a moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face brightened. Hans Wolf and I looked on and cheered, clapping our hand, considered somebody to be somebody. Time came, and all too soon, when the game was finished, the snaps and the rum and the sausage had long since run out. So read these sentences carefully, children. So the meanings are given there, okay? in the bracket. It was all over means finished. Keep out means to avoid. Yes, so the meanings are given in the bracket. Noun phrase. Read the following sentences. I took out a small tin box. Small black tin box. The phrase in italics is a noun phrase. It has noun box as the head word and 3 adjectives preceding it. What are the adjectives? Small, black. Yes. Notice the order in which the adjectives occur. First the size, then the color, then the material of which it is made. Preceding means that which comes before. So, box is noun and the 3 adjectives used before box is what? Small, black and tin. See in which order? First the size, then the color, then the material. We rarely use more than 4 adjectives before a noun, and there's no rigid order. There's no fixed order as such in which they are used. Though there is a preferred order of modifiers. So the order is not a fixed one. Yes, children. Modifiers, adjectives in a noun phrase are as given below. See determiner, modifier, feeling, then the next is shape and size and age, then the color, the material. Yes. See A and the determiner. Then modifiers, how is it? Nice, lazy, beautiful, tall, round, old. So these are modifiers. It describes. Yes, describing words. The table below contains a list of nouns and some adjectives. Use as many adjectives as you can to describe each noun. You might come up with some funny descriptions. Elephant. So children, elephant is a noun. Adjectives used to describe: circular, striped, enormous, face. So you have to describe. Okay, use your own adjectives. Face can be, elephant is what? You can say huge, enormous. Yes, for face it can be circular, then what you call round, oval. Yeah. Then building and water. Building. Huge, big, multi-storied, water, colorless, yeah, cold. Now, so the answer: elephant, enormous, striped, white, face, cheerful, round, chubby, building, circular, large, multicolored, water, blue, cold. Okay, children. See, page number 19. It is actually to be discussed, but you don't have your friends next to you. So, you think and write the answer, children. In groups, discuss whether wars are a good way to end conflicts between countries. Then present your arguments to the whole class. Children, right now you cannot present your arguments because now you are at home. But anyway, think of the answer and write down the answer. Here is one sample so that you have some idea. War means bloodshed, hate and destruction. It shows the animalism in man. Even the animals fight for some sound reason, but nations go to war to settle some petty, very small dispute, or in the name of religion. War solves no problem. Understanding alone can end differences. All religions condemn greed and bloody quarrels. Let us learn this great lesson from history. So children, now you think of an answer for this particular question and write down. This is your assignment, children, and of course you have to write down all the questions and answers. that we have done in this session? Yes, children? Okay, children, that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.